Good morning. It's Sunday, January 19th. I'm Lisa Evers in the Fox 5 newsroom. Thank you for joining us live on the Fox Local app. Here comes the snow. It's going to be a 1-2 punch. First, the snow, upwards of 6 to 8 inches expected in parts of the area. A state of emergency is in effect in New Jersey. Then bitterly cold and dangerous temperatures roll in. Breaking news, the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has begun. The first 3 Israeli hostages are expected to be released today. Dozens of Palestinian prisoners will be released in exchange. The truce is the first step in ending the war that started after the October 7th attack. And TikTok has gone dark in the United States. 170 million American users cannot use one of the world's most popular social media apps. This after the Supreme Court upheld a ban. President-elect Trump has signaled he's going to give TikTok an extension when he takes office. We're dealing with some extremely cold temperatures, and with that comes a concern that more people could accidentally fall through icy creeks or ponds. Fox 5's Jody Goldberg spoke with a local dive team coordinator about ways to stay safe should you find yourself on thin ice.
Oscar Bejarano knew his dog Doji liked ducks, but what he didn't know was that the 3-year-old Chow Chow would dig his way under his fence, run down the road and into this Massapequa Creek in search of them.
My wife noticed that he was drowning and she just jumped.
A passerby helped get Doji out, but Oscar says his wife Lorena was already in the early stages of hypothermia and had to rely on first responders to pull her from the cold creek.
She couldn't feel her body. The hospital said 5 more minutes and she could be, dead.
Bob McKay says when it comes to ice water rescues, every minute counts. The dive team coordinator with the Wantagh Fire Department says while rescues are rare, they have all of the resources they need.
10 minutes, you're going to start losing your ability to hold on to things with your fingers. Eventually, your muscles are going to stiffen up.
When a call comes in for a water or ice emergency, members get on a rescue truck. They've got all their gear on here, and they get dressed on the go.
I'm going to throw this to my victim. I would tell the victim to wrap themselves in it. This is an ice rescue board. You're gonna have the victims stick their arms in this device. These are ice sticks. I'm gonna check the ice in front of me.
Back in December, we covered a rescue out in Mastic Beach involving a man who was stranded in a creek on a jet ski. Fluctuating temperatures like we've been seeing causes creeks, canals, and ponds to thaw during the day and refreeze at night. They also create a false sense of safety when it comes to how strong the ice is. This according to McKay, who says pollution is another factor that slows down the freeze.
It's like mixing antifreeze into your car, into water. They're not going to freeze well enough to support anybody.
McKay shares this advice if you find yourself on thin ice.
Try and maximize the space that your body's taking up so that it minimizes how much weight is on the particular piece of ice.
As for Doji, the fence is fixed and he could visit the creek, but only on a leash. In Massapequa, Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
New developments in Mayor Adams' corruption case. His lawyer claims the former federal prosecutor who secured the indictment against Adams is violating legal ethics and tainting the jury pool. In a letter to the judge in the case, the mayor's lawyer claims Damian Williams has repeatedly disparaged Adams, including in a recent op-ed and on recently registered websites. The letter also claims Williams is either planning to run against the mayor or for another elected position. Williams resigned from his post as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York last month. He has not publicly announced an intention to run for office. The annual list of New York City neighborhoods to watch is out, and for a second straight year, Ridgewood, Queens was ranked number 1. In fact, almost all of the neighborhoods ranked in the top 10 were outside of Manhattan. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso took a trip to Ridgewood to see what all the buzz is about.
What is it about Ridgewood that you think brings people here?
I think it's just the vibes, the community. It's accessible to shops, train station. Pretty safe.
For the second year in a row, Ridgewood, Queens has earned the top spot on Street Easy's list of 10 New York City neighborhoods to watch in 2025.
It's like super convenient because like the L and the M both converge here, and I think there's a lot to do, and there's you know, a lot of like really great places to live, and it's a nice neighborhood vibe. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's a neighborhood along the border with Bushwick, Brooklyn, but those who live here in Ridgewood say it's a lot quieter. From the mom and pop shops to the historic architecture, and not to mention the landmarks like Rollo's Restaurant and Rudy's Bakery.
There's like a lot of really great places to eat and you know, drink here, of course, but you know, there's also a lot of really great like neighborhood spots that have been here forever.
Street Easy narrowed down its list by the increase in searches among buyers and renters from 2023 to 2024. Ridgewood's median asking rent last year, $3,250. Street Easy says not a huge bargain compared to the $3,327 in Bushwick. However, renters say the fact that it feels more residential is what has them flocking over.
I feel like Ridgewood is very close-knit. We're very family-oriented people.
6 of the 10 neighborhoods on the list are in Brooklyn, 3 neighborhoods in Queens. And you're probably wondering if Manhattan was on the list. Well, yes, one neighborhood, Morningside Heights, and they came in at number 10. In Ridgewood, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
It's something parents have been dodging for centuries, answering the question, do you have a favorite child? Well, as Fox 5's Richard Giacova shows us, a new study reveals the answer is yes.
It's an age-old question for parents with more than one child, and you know you've asked it. Mom and Dad, who's your favorite? And this was the answer you probably got.
I love them all equally. I do not have a favorite.
But thanks to science, it turns out many moms and dads were apparently lying this whole time.
I do know people who do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And?
I think that's the consensus.
But do you think they do it in secret? Like they keep it to themselves, or?
I think the other kids realize it.
Maybe so, Mom. According to a study from the American Psychological Association, parents, in fact, have favorites. And it's usually kids who are more agreeable, also more conscientious. Oh, and it's usually the girls.
My dad tells me I'm his favorite all the time.
Boys with sisters say, oh no, not true. All siblings are treated equally.
No, I hope not. I don't think so.
It's me, I'm the favorite.
So do Mom and Dad have a favorite? Okay, maybe not. The study looked at 5 key domains: overall treatment, positive interactions, negative interactions, resource allocation, and control. Turns out moms and dads preferred the kid who's more organized and more responsible, too.
One child might be a better dancer. One child might be a better singer. One child might be a better student. Whatever it may be, that's their strength. And I don't think, though, that we love our children any differently.
You learn how to be a parent with the first one, so that there's always like, you know, that element, that novelty of learning how to be a parent. And then you can repeat the same mistakes with the second one.
So if you're up at this late hour watching this with your many children, the point wasn't to cause an argument, we promise. In fact, we just wanted to give some advice to all you parents out there to maybe have some mindful conversations with your children and realize who the golden child really is in your eyes. You can always tell the non-favorites to blame it on science. In Mamaroneck, Richard Giacovas, Fox 5 News.
Nintendo's new Switch 2 console will be in the hands of gamers sometime later this year. The video game company released a trailer for it. It's a slightly larger version of the original console with small changes to the controller. Nintendo says the new gaming system can play a combination of Switch 2 exclusives and original Switch games, but some older titles may not be fully compatible. The company did not announce a specific date for the console's release. This border collie is simply a genius. The 6-year-old named Harvey has been crowned the smartest dog in England. The distinction comes from an international study on dog cognition. Researchers at the University of Budapest say they're most impressed by his ability to remember objects after hearing their names.
One-handed. Perfect.
A Knicks fan nailed a shot of a lifetime at the Garden. It happened between the third and fourth quarters against the Timberwolves Friday night. A fan swished a half-court shot to win a 2025 Kia Telluride, sending the crowd into a frenzy. An added bonus, getting a hug from Knicks superfan Ben Stiller, who was courtside. And a final check of the forecast is going to be a 1-2 punch. First, the snow, upwards of 6 to 8 inches expected in parts of the area. A state of emergency is in effect in New Jersey. Then bitterly cold and dangerous temperatures roll in. And that does it for us this morning. I'm Lisa Evers. Have a really great day. Remember, Fox 5 News is always streaming here on the Fox Local app.